better. So this dotted curve here looks much better.
This is Daniel Tubenauer talking about the
top one.
analytic theory of monoidal categories. And his videos are peculiarly timed. So I've just been trying to convince Sophie Maclean at King's College London, who's doing her PhD in analytic number theory. She starts this year, and she started this year, and I'm trying to lasso her into being one of the co-authors. I don't know how many there are on this book of standard ML for the lady programmer, and so this is it. This is how you. I hope. I mean, I've only watched 5 minutes of the video. It's how you analyze the prime number function, and I never got this. When I studied the Riemann zeta function and the connections with this, people say primes pop up randomly. I mean, of course they don't. If you just think what a prime number is, and you draw a graph and show how the sieve of Aristophanes works, there's nothing random about it. Just take a piece of graph paper, plot off. I know I once thought there was. I was a dickhead when I was a kid. I was in a massive sulk after Schumacher College, and the natural step had gone tits up. I just stayed at home for a year, studying A-level maths and thinking, my God, I've got to figure out why it's so easy to square numbers and it's so damned hard to take square roots, and I've got to go and do a degree in maths now. And so I was just messing around, and I found some code that did a fast Fourier transform, and I typed it in, and and I started analyzing these things as spectra, and I got some. I was kind of interesting, but I didn't really have enough of an idea of what the Fourier transform was. But I figured there was some kind of structure in there, and the structure is absolutely obvious. It's a summing of a series of frequencies, but they're not harmonically related. And anyway, that code was on the hard disk, and I realized that I did distribute my code in another way because I had no money, I had no support. My parents, I couldn't live at home anymore. Things just got too much with me and my father and my mother. It was just three of us in this house, and it blew up one day. Ended with me threatening my father. It's because I'd said something to my mum, and it wasn't actually an argument between my mum and I. It was my mum and I's business, and Dad came in and said, "Don't you shout at your mother," in this authoritarian way, and I put my fist up at his jaw and I said, "Don't you tell me what to do," or something like this. And we had that was a big family blow up, and not long after that I left. But I was so frustrated. I was sitting there, and I bought this A-level maths book, and my dad kind of looked at me, a big fat book to try and do A-level maths. And my dad said, "You're going to study all of that?" And I said, "Well, Dad, actually, I already studied it all. I spent 2 years at college studying this all, and I got another O-level for my efforts. I was so crap." And it was because I didn't know how to factor polynomials. But anyway, that's another story. So I'm studying half-assed maths and doing computational experiments at home and not really getting anywhere because I don't even know what a fucking Fourier transform is. I have no idea what convolution is or any of this stuff. And and I'm sort of looking at the pretty pictures on the spectrum of the primes, but I mean it's a statistical it's a spectrum, right? It's just a set of frequencies on but it's the kind of negative of it all. It's the composite numbers that show up. You should be looking at the patterns in the composite numbers, not the primes. Although that sounds bizarre, but Euler's totient function is I don't know how the duality works. Anyway, Sophie, let's get back to this. It's not about me. It's about using that framework and STEC3 and read. You only need to get to the comma category, but because that's kind of the key to everything. So the comma category and the Yoneda lemma, and that's all in. I don't know about the comma category, but the Yoneda lemma is in Eugenia Cheng's Joy of Abstraction, and the category theory for babies book, which actually was written for Sir Michael Atiyah, so he obviously needs to learn this stuff as well. But here we go, we're off. Let's do it. Come on, Sophie, get your name on the cover. The principal author.